Nouns. If it's not an English word, then we go, I mean, if it's not a Choctaw word, we go ahead and use the English. Easter. Easter at alakma, il alahokma, nata ishkati machi. Okay. And only 4 of you in class today. I forget where I left off. I know we're still on the objects. And I believe we got to the affected subjects, but we didn't pick up there. Okay, continuing on the direct objects, the pronouns as direct objects. This is what we call the affected person marker in the objective role, or in the role of an object. Something is having an effect on this when also that we can say it receives the action of the verb. The direct object receives the action of the verb or is affected by the verb or predicate. I would probably just start using the word predicate, because predicates can be verbs, they can be adjectives or nouns. So I want to say affected by the predicate. And also, let's look again on page 61 at the top of the page. This might be a paragraph that you may want to highlight or otherwise mark it so you can use it for a quick reference, where it says the affected person marker appears directly before the verb. When both an agent marker and an affected marker appear in the same sentence, the agent marker comes first, followed by the affected marker. The exception being the first person singular agent marker, and that is le. When le is in the sentence, it always follows the verb. Third person objects, like third person subjects, are understood. In other words, there is no marker for third person singular or plural in the affected markers. Si, si, meaning me, is used when the verb following it begins with any value of a or o, and I always just say any vowel. And sa, and I use sv, not the sa. Sv is used with every other verb. And I say this is going to be the consonant sounds. Si before vowels, sv before consonants. I'm going to clear the screen. Okay, give me just a minute. Okay, I would like for you to make 3 sentences using any of the affected person markers as the object and send with your translations. Make 3 sentences using any of the affected person markers as the object. Keep in mind the placement of that pronoun in relationship to the rest of the sentence. Okay, I'm going to look at your sentences now. Okay, you're going to know if this is your work when I read it. Your instructions were to make 3 sentences using any of the affected person markers. And my intention on this is that you would use 3 different ones. That kind of expands your knowledge and something that you can retain by using different ones. To use the same one is okay, but maybe you're not comfortable in writing sentences that are going to show me that you can do this and that you're comfortable in making these sentences using different ones and not using the same one each time you make a sentence. And these are in the object position because this is all we've studied. These are the only thing we've studied so far with these pronouns is in the position of the direct object. Okay. Okay, and like I said, you'll recognize your sentences when you hear them, and I will make corrections if necessary. The first one I'm reading says, Alekchia chihanklo tokon. Alekchia chihanklo tokon. Did the doctor hear you? That's written correctly. 2 says, Ishkiat se honne. We are using the direct object. Here, mother is cooking for me in this instance is an indirect object. It is not a direct object. But the way it's used in the Choctaw sentence, hone means to boil. Hone means to boil. Try to stay within the vocabulary words we've learned. If you're not sure of a word, look in the glossary, and you might want to choose a different word to use, because if you go to the dictionary because you have a word in mind that you want to use, it may not be the proper term that you want to use. Hone means to boil. And when you put huni and then si in front of it, that means boil me. But even the si here is misused because huni begins with a consonant sound. And look at the information at the top of page 61 again if you're not sure which one to use, si or sa. But that needs to be rewritten. And keep in mind that we only learned the kinship terms using the term my. Using the term my. Ishki means a mother or his mother. It doesn't say my mother. So work on your structure there. The third one said na naftokoyat pi illi. And if you have to use your dictionary to look for a word, again, go back to the words we've already used. If you're not quite understanding sentence structure, if you're not quite understanding vocabulary, stick with the vocabulary words we've already learned. Use the words in the chapters, the vocabulary words in the chapters we have gone over. Illi. If you look at the back of the dictionary and you want to look for the word lost, the first word you're going to see there is illi. Did you look for the word illi back in the Choctaw dictionary? If you look for the word illi in the Choctaw dictionary, the first definition you'll see is dead. The first word that you see there is dead. So if you look in the back of the dictionary for a particular word and you see several words, follow each one of those words back into the Choctaw dictionary to make sure that you're using the proper term. This is why I said rely on the vocabulary words we've already used. So that needs to be reconstructed, rewritten. 2 and 3 need to be rewritten. Okay, this one says, Sioshi tikat siapila tuk. Sioshi tikat siapila tuk. My daughter helped me. Allah nakniat hapihoyo. Allah nakniat hapihoyo. The boy is looking for us, and hapi is us in the plural. And this is written correctly because when the last where it said for me, that was incorrect because that's a indirect object. But here it says the boy is looking for us. This is written correctly because hoyo means to look for. So for in this instance is not a preposition saying for us. It's looking for. Or hoyo means to look for. So this is written correctly. The third one says nani kanachiat sis. That is so hard to say. Always when you are writing these sentences, say it out loud. Say it out loud. Si ishtala is difficult to say. This is why we use the term sa before a vowel sound. Nani kanachiat sa ishtalatuk. In conversation, that would be a correct statement. But if you were just to read a sentence that said nani kanachiat sashtalatuk, you would have to understand that in conversation. The only correction I have is change sa to change si to sa, and again refer to the top of page 61 if you're not sure which marker to use. The next one says isi usia chihaklotuk. Isi usia chihaklotuk. Haklo means to listen to. Honklo means to hear. Haklo means listen to. Honklo means to hear. So that would be the only change I'd make here. Change the haklo to honklo, nasal A. Isi osia chihanklo tok. The little deer heard you. The second one says sanak vishat sapinsa tok. My younger brother saw me. Okay, sanakfish is if a woman is speaking, she's speaking of her younger sister. If a male is speaking, he's speaking of his younger brother. So make sure that you have the proper terminology here. Sanakvishat sapinsatuk is a correct sentence in English. But like I said, my younger, and it could be brother. If you're a male, you use the word sanakvish for younger brother. If you're a female, sanakvish means younger sister. And 3 says ahatakat sah. There's a misspelling here. H-A-K-O should be haklo. Ahatakat sahaklo. That should have an L in the last word. Haklo, H-A-K-L-O. Ahatakat sahaklo. My husband listened to me. And the only one that I would change is the nasal A in hanklo in number 1. And sanakfish, if you're female, sanakfish means my younger sister. If you're male, sanakfish means my younger brother. And just a misspelling on the last one. Okay, those are good sentences. Okay, here this one says ombayat pinsali kiotok. Okay, you're marking omba as the subject of the sentence, but you also have the agent person marker le. So this can't happen. You have marked omba as the subject of the sentence, and you also have the pronoun le as the subject. So that has to be reconstructed. And the second one says ombayat anoka hikiya hapitok. Okay, I know what you're wanting to say, but these words are all out of order. And look at the top of page 61 where it tells you that hapi or any of the affected person markers is going to precede the predicate. And here you have hikia, hapi, and tok. You have your affected person marker before the past tense marker. So that sentence needs to be reconstructed. And again, you have marked omba as the subject of the sentence when you have you're using we as the subject, but we, I don't see the word, the agent person marker for we in the sentence. So that needs to be reconstructed. Hapi does mean, it means us. It doesn't say we. And number 3, chokoyat anoka minti hachi tok. Okay, you're wanting to say you as the subject of the sentence, but you also have marked choka as the subject of the sentence. And I don't see the word you in, Choctaw in the sentence, so that sentence needs to be reconstructed. The next one I see is chipisale. Pisa means to look at. Pisa means to see. Chipisale means I see you. Chipisale means I'm looking at you. And hullo, we have not had the word hullo as a vocabulary word. Hullole simply means I love. To say I love. And when you're making a sentence, always just pick one. Don't give me all the possibilities. Here I see I love him and them, him, them. Make sure you're using the proper terminology. To love someone is ihullo. So stay with the words that we have already learned. Chipipisaho. The O on the nasal, the O on the question marker should be a nasal. And we show nasalization by making capital letters, by using capital letters. Chi is an affected person marker. P is an affected person marker. You will not see this, you will not see both You will not see two affected person markers in the same sentence where one is the subject and one is the object. We have not studied affected subjects yet, so you can't use an affected person marker as a subject, nor can you and an affected person marker as the object in the same sentence. Chipipinsahu is not a correct sentence, so that needs to be restructured. Okay. Hashkiat sahaklo, my mother is listening to me. Nanaftokoyat piapila, the policeman is helping us. Okay, those are good sentences. Very good. Very good. Do y'all have any questions? Okay, and when I have made corrections or made suggestions on what you can do to correct your sentences, I do appreciate those who make the effort and send it back in and show me that you do understand, or to try again. And it's okay. It's okay. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and close class. And if you will, I don't believe we are quite ready to leave this yet, because there seems to be a misunderstanding. You're wanting to say things that we have not studied yet. That's why I suggest to stay with the vocabulary words we've already learned and not step into something that you're not ready for and make those errors. That's why I ask if you have any questions. Okay, since there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead and say mark your page for the affected subjects on page 61. And the efforts you put forth in making those corrections is appreciated. Okay, very good. And that was the only, number 3, and Ahataka Sahaklo, that L was the only thing. It was just a misspelling. And this Sanakvishat Sapinsatok is very good. Very good. And I'm glad you're sending those to me to let me know that, or let me see that you do understand the structure and how to use the words. Yakoki. Wednesday, Flatik Machipinsa Lachiki, Yakoki.